I'm Wesley Morris, and this is Cannonball. Today, we're going to play a little game. Does Timothée Chalamet go above the fold? I spend an embarrassing amount of time thinking about movie stars. Movie stars! You know what they are. They're basically actors who we and our wallets have fallen in love with. I have fallen in love with my fair share, but I love to study them because they can tell us a lot about who we think we are and how maybe we'd like to be. Ever since we started the show, I have wanted to invite my friend Bill Simmons on to talk about this idea of the movie star, like what it takes to make one, whether we still even have them. It's something he and I have been talking about pretty much as long as we've known each other. And not infrequently, Robert Redford would be invoked as the definition of a movie star, for better and for worse, really, but mostly for better because he was good at his job. I mean, everybody's mom, including mine, loved this man. She paid good money to see him act, but I have no doubt she'd have paid with a piece of her heart too, which is kind of how you know he was a star. He could make a married woman feel real single. And then, last month, Robert Redford died. So Bill and I were like, I think now is the time. Let's finally have another round of this conversation, but on my show. Here's my conversation with Bill. Bill, welcome to Cannonball. I can't believe you're here.
It's great to be here. We've known each other for almost 15 years, and I think we have talked about the concept of movie stardom more than any other topic. And Redford's the perfect guy to do this because we don't have Redfords anymore. They just don't exist.
They don't exist. But we'll come back to that. I want to start by asking some condolence questions. First of all, how's your mother's heart doing?
It's tough. My dad actually took this harder because Jeremiah Johnson's his favorite movie, and Redford was probably his favorite actor, had probably been in the most things that he liked, so he took this one hard. But my mom was upset too, and she had the Way We Were Gatsby kind of side. That's where...
Gatsby? Interesting.
Oh yeah, that whole era.
Yeah. I mean...
Barefoot in the Park before my time.
I mean, because my mom, I know, would definitely have been really beside herself and just sort of caught up in all her feelings. I don't know about my dad's relationship to Redford. I'm sure he thought he was cool. But my mother, I partially know who this man is because my mother loved him and she'd watch him in anything, which is kind of how you know somebody's a star.
Right. My mom really liked him, but as you know with my mom, she likes that slightly seedy,
she wants something
sleazy
dirty
side. Gere was her guy.
Yeah, drunk Newman.
Get right. Gere or Newman and Slapshot. Gere was like Redford after 3 drinks with maybe some sort of police record in the background. But yeah, I mean, fundamentally, we just don't have Redfords anymore. And he's one of those things, his career was so long. And he did so many cool things that you kind of forget how many good movies he made.
I didn't discover him until, he was an ambient presence. I think I might have seen him first probably at the 86 Academy Awards, not even as himself, but just in clips for Out of Africa, which is, that was the big Best Picture winner that year.
The winner is Out of Africa.
He's the leading man in this love story between him and Meryl Streep.
Doesn't it matter to you that I'm another man's wife?
No. What matters to me is that you tried so hard.
It's not a very good movie.
It is not. But that's the first time I saw him, and I remember thinking, I don't know who this movie is taking all these Color Purple Oscars, but... This blonde, blue-eyed white man is definitely speaking to like 10-year-old, 9-year-old me in these clips. So let's just think about I just want to think about three movies that kind of epitomize an aspect of the thing that made him him. I don't know if you have 3.
I do.
If you can you can reduce this career to 3 films, but what is one that you what's a great for example for Redford?
Well, you have to start with Sundance.
You've never met a pair like Butch and Sundance.
Because Sundance vaults him to a different level. It's one of the most famous, biggest movies of the 70s. It pulls him up. After that movie, he is now on a different plane. And it's just a charisma role. Like, he's super fucking handsome in that movie. He really is. Like,
Yes.
he looks great.
He looks
Newman
really
looks
great.
He looks great. You believe that they're friends. They have this banter back and forth that,
The thing to remember when
Don't tell me how to rob a bank. I know how to rob a bank.
you know, it almost feels like the first modern buddy cop movie, even though they're not cops, they're the bad guys. But the way they interact, I think, has been stolen for the next 55 years. And he's just a movie star. It's like, just, we're getting to hang out with two movie stars. And think about how many movies have tried to rip that off ever since. Like, even Ocean's 11, or it's like, let's just get some famous, good-looking movie stars together and we'll give them stuff to do. It all starts with that movie, which is still awesome. It's a great rewatch even now.
It's funny because he and Newman are so different. They're differently beautiful. And, Newman's a decade older, and in many ways, there's a kind of protege-mentor relationship happening the two times, the first two times they work together in this movie, and then
the Sting.
In The Sting. And, you notice that Newman twinkles and Redford shines, right?
Oh, that's a good way to put it. So Newman had the twinkle in his eye. Newman was funnier. Newman was more charismatic. And Redford had that kind of smoldering, if we're actually have to follow somebody in a battle, for some reason I might be following this guy.
Yeah.
And not like the cool guy. I think it's really unusual for two movie stars to click like that. It certainly doesn't happen very often.
Well, that ought to do it.
Think you use enough dynamite there, Butch?
Redford's funny in that movie. Redford's not funny.
No.
He doesn't really ever play characters that have a sense of humor. He's always like the straight man or the counterpuncher, but I think he's funny in Butch.
Do you have another movie that you think is like something that just like epitomizes some aspect of Redford as both a star and as the star that he was?
For me, it's three. We mentioned Butch and Sundance.
Mm-hmm.
All the President's Men.
Sure.
How much can you tell me about Deep Throat?
How much do you need to know?
You trust him?
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't think I know it's like it won the Oscar for Best Writing. But I think in the wrong hands, that's a pretty forgettable character because he plays it close to the vest. He's doing a lot of like kind of reading his surroundings. He's in a garage with Deep Throat.
Supposedly he's got a lawyer with $25,000 in a brown paper bag.
Follow the money.
What do you mean? Where?
Like, those scenes shouldn't be as good as they are. Everything he's doing with his eyes and his body, and you believe that he's like a fledgling reporter, that he's not quite made it yet, that he's a little inexperienced, but you also believe that he can save the day. He's trying to play off Hoffman. He's playing off all these great actors. And I think those parts don't get enough credit for how hard they are.
You can talk about what your relationship is with this movie, but I've heard you talk about it before. But just in terms of like, do you identify with Dustin Hoffman, who plays Carl Bernstein, or Robert Redford as Woodward? And I just remember thinking, do I believe that this guy is a journalist?
Well, I don't remember when I first started watching that movie, but my first big Watergate phase was in college. And that's when, ever since then, I've been watching it ever since. I was always on the Redford side of that movie because of the scene, which is one of the better scenes of his career, when he's putting the copy in and then Hoffman's coming over and grabbing it and taking it. And then Redford finally confronts him and he's like, here's all my work.
If you're gonna do it right. Here are my notes. If you're gonna hype it with the facts. I don't mind what you did. I mind the way you did it.
I don't mind what you did. I just don't like how you did it.
Oh yeah.
And just like gave him the skull. And I was like, I'm in on this guy. If I have to pick, I'm in with him. So that would be two. And then The Natural would be my third one.
Don't you remember signing a contract?
Yeah, I remember signing a contract to play ball. Not to be put to sleep by some two-bit carny hypnotist. I won't do that.
It's got one of the best endings. He hits a home run that makes the lights explode and then has a catch with his bastard son in a cornfield.
That home run at the end of that movie is one of the great ridiculous endings.
The best sports movie ending.
I want to sit with this for a second.
Yeah.
that scene really speaks to like these iconic aspects of Redford, or like these characteristic traits, right? Some of the things that are important to understanding what kind of movie star he was have a lot to do with these principles that he embodied. It's funny because some of the things that make him such a great star are that he never wavered in embodying those things. Integrity, decency, honor, morality, justice. I mean, he was uncorruptible. His characters were uncorruptible. I was going to say
moral compass.
Yeah.
His characters always had some sort of compass that you trusted, and he never played characters that didn't have the compass that I can think of.
So I'll go through three things really fast. I would say 3 Days of the Condor is a movie that I would definitely offer as the epitome of what a movie star does. Redford's own good taste in scripts, directors, and then all the things. He's working with Sidney Pollack on this movie. This is 1975.
This is Joe Turner.
Identification?
My name is Turner. I work for you. Now listen.
Identify yourself. What is your designation?
Condor.
This movie is a big hit, and I can't really describe what it's about, but basically Redford is a CIA bookworm.
Will you guys bring me in, please? I'm not a field agent. I just read books.
Who finds out that the team he'd been working on has all been assassinated, and they missed one person, him. And
well, Wesley saw something he shouldn't have seen.
Welcome to 1970s movie making. The paranoia.
That's the premise of every movie from 1974 to 77.
But the opening 5 minutes are what I would describe as like pure movie star gold. Which, do you remember what the opening credit sequence is when we get introduced to him? He's on a bike.
Yeah.
He's biking to work in like the coolest outfit. And I'm just like, I will spend a whole movie with this guy. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's so charming. I'll do it. But this amazing thing happens, and I'm just going to do a little role playing with you right now. Yeah. And I just want you to sit with me for a second and just, I want you to just be a person. Let's just say you're out in the world, you're buying some ski equipment, and you're going on a trip. You're going to go meet your man up in Vermont for the weekend.
Right.
And you're just like, you're shopping, you're doing your thing, you just paid, and you're getting into the car, which is parked on a very obvious street in broad daylight, and this very handsome man comes up to you, and he's like, hey.
Kathy!
I recognize you. Nice to see you again. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. How can I? Oh my God, what are you doing? And this man is putting a gun in your waist. And is telling you to get in the car. Get in the car right now. And you get in the car, and he drives. You wind up taking him back to your place, and he roughs you up a little bit.
What are you, a clown?
I'm scared.
So am I.
What are you scared for? You've got the gun.
Yes.
And he wants to know if you're going to help him figure out what the hell happened to his team and how are you going to do it. The question is, do you call the cops? Or do you spend your weekend that you had planned to ski up in Vermont with your actual man? Do you throw all that out the window to help Robert Redford defeat the CIA?
Well, that's the answer. But then I would add this caveat too. I'm going to fall in love.
Yes, we are going to. And also, if there's an offer to do it at the hour mark, do you take it?
Yeah. Hey, we've spent 10 hours together and you had a gun on me, but what are you doing later?
Also,
should we see a movie? Yeah, but that's the kind of thing when you're handsome and charismatic, you can get away with it.
This is Faye Dunaway, another of the 70s biggest stars in 3 Days of the Condor. And I just want to tell you what kind of environment we are dealing with Robert Redford's morality. At some point, she says, you roughed me up.
Have I roughed you up?
Yes. What are you doing in my house? Going through all my stuff.
Have I raped you?
And he's like, I'm sorry, did I rape you? And she goes,
the night is young.
The night is young. This is before they do it.
Wow.
And the crazy thing about that line is she says that and he is instantly wounded. Like, oh my God, this is the
think I'm a monster?
This situation has led me to make a woman think that I'd be capable of something like that. I need to sit down next to her and let her know that I am not that man.
You don't believe anything I've said, do you?
I believe you're in trouble.
That movie is fascinating for all kinds of reasons, but it's such a great use of him. I think part of what that movie's doing for me is just giving you a movie star as a movie star. It is saying, this movie could be about anything, but the reason I paid to come is just to spend time with this person that I like to see. This is a movie.
And as you know, I wish more actors just made movies like this.
It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Will Smith, an enemy of the state, just uh-oh. Somebody switched my wallet. Now I'm got it. I'm going to be killed.
But if memory serves, that movie is missing a Will Smith gets to the office on a bicycle moment, right?
Yeah, right.
What you need is just time alone with the star for a minute, just before the plot kicks in. And he's such a wonderful coworker in that movie until everybody gets assassinated. He's funny with his coworkers.
Yeah.
I love that as a for example for him and what a movie star can do. The other thing I would say, I would spend some time with The Natural too. The Natural is great because it is a movie. It's like a classic Hollywood drama in a lot of ways. It's doing things that you will hire a movie star to do. It's entirely built around him. It doesn't work without him. And then I would, because I like the idea of Choosing movie stars bad movies to prove that they're still stars. And so I would also pick Indecent Proposal.
Thank you. I was waiting. I left this one for you because I knew you would bring it up. Because we both love this movie.
Suppose I were to offer you $1 million for one night with your wife.
This is a movie about two people who are desperate for money.
Yeah.
And in order to get their cash right, try to bet it all in Vegas and wind up running into this guy. I'm going to get the exact plot details wrong. But basically, they come across this millionaire who's like, you know what I'd like to do? I'll make your dreams come true if you, in exchange for this $1 million, let me have your wife, who's played by Demi Moore. Woody Harrelson is the husband.
You
and
missed
Demi Moore is the
the
wife.
big dice roll scene, though. She's rolling the dice for him, and he's winning money. That's how it's on. Woody's not even in there. He's at poker table.
Yes. It is quite a terrible movie where it doesn't matter
Terribly great.
how bad it is because there's a greatness driving it anyway. And part of the greatness is the nerve of it, right? This is a movie that is asking the question, would you accept $1 million for a night? Would you prostitute yourself to Robert Redford for $1 million? I mean, it doesn't.
I mean, I wouldn't.
But would you not? Would you really not, Bill? I mean, this is a place where you could just be real.
Well, the thing is, though, with this movie, this was such an unusual choice for him. And I think they overpaid him as part of it. But it was like, whoa, he's going to be in this? He never does stuff like this. And at that point, Sundance was going. And it was almost fascinating to go to the theater just to see how they would handle the Redford piece of it.
But what is the thing that you think that he would never do?
This movie.
Right. But what about just the premise alone or the fact that he's the guy making this, I'm going to say.
Let's be honest, though. This is one of the reasons the movie didn't totally work, even though we both love it. This should have been Richard Gere. This is a Richard Gere part.
Mm-hmm. When
this
he was all about paying women for whatever time he wanted to spend with them.
Yeah, because you and
actor.
we both love the Richard Gere who's in Internal Affairs. We like the dirty Richard Gere, taking a phone call while he's getting ridden by somebody's sister. And that's what this movie, Redford, I just never bought that he was pervy enough to be the guy.
No. It's just a fascinating use of a person whose entire stardom is the opposite of this character, right? And so it tricks you into believing in some way that the moral energies are actually not with Demi Moore and Woody Harrelson, whose lives get turned upside down by this decision. And they're actually with the sleaze bag, Redford, who makes the offer.
Well, the irony of that movie is she should have stayed with Redford. They were a better couple. That was the life she should have had. You're watching it, just fucking get rid of Woody. Get him out of there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really, 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 really true.
I think he was I talked about this on my pod about him, just how smartly he picked roles with the things he could and couldn't do.
Yes. Yes.
Which I think he's usually going to be charming guy, hero, somebody trying to topple the system. There were certain touch points that he was going to do. I thought it was really interesting that he didn't want to be in the verdict because he thought the guy was too much of a loser.
Famous
and was
story.
trying to make them rewrite it and make him less of a loser. And they're like, the guy is a loser. That's the whole point of the movie. He's like, well, I'm out.
I can't do it.
And this was a big thing for him. He's like, I'm a movie star. I play winners. I play heroes. That's what I do.
But I mean, the thing about Redford that's fascinating to me is that he came around at the exact right moment. I think part of his appeal, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I think some of the appeal is that he arrives as a star at the beginning of the Nixon era. And that whole period between Watergate, the war, the collapse of the civil rights movement, there's just all kinds of social and political unrest. The president just doesn't seem right in some way, and eventually we'd learn how wrong he was.
I don't know. I still like him.
That's a different show, Bill.
That was a joke.
Yeah, you're kidding. But I think there's something, part of the appeal of him was that he seemed presidential, right?
Yeah.
He benefited from an entire history of a sort of blonde, blue-eyed iconography that made him seem like he could do anything. And at a moment in which the country has been falling apart for 8 years, here's this guy who just is so calm and level-headed, doesn't lose it, and is really on the side of all the people that, in the Nixon administration's case, the Nixon administration wants to crush, right? The narratives are aligned with you know, what will become, what we would learn were Redford's priorities. But I don't know. He just was the perfect star for that period to me.
Well, I like this thought of like putting him in context with the other great people from that decade, because it was such a great decade for movie stars. Him and Warren Beatty were probably could have switched roles in a few of the movies, right? The difference is Warren Beatty always had that horny look to him, right? Everyone was fair game at all times at a Warren Beatty movie, and he was there was a general horniness. Like the difference is Redford would kiss his co-star, probably not go for the tongue on the kiss.
No.
Right?
No.
Just traditional, respectful kiss.
That mouth stays closed.
Warren Beatty's, that tongue's coming out. He's like, I got to test out this actress, see what's going on here. And he was just like, he was the seedier version of Redford. And, you know, kind of like a blend of Newman and Redford in some ways.
And it's interesting that, like, for as sexy as Beatty wanted to be in the movies and was, Redford, I mean, really, he was paired with women, but it was more about them sharing the frame together more than it was you actually watching him go to sleep with somebody.
Yeah, it was an arrangement.
Right.
Yeah. But Warren Beatty couldn't have been Jeremiah Johnson in a million years. And I'm not sure he could have been Sundance either.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, here's who would have been around him during this period. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino.
De Niro's young, though. But De Niro and Pacino are a little younger. Like, Nicholson is really, I think, more of a peer, right?
Yes.
Nicholson, McQueen.
Jack Nicholson, Steve McQueen, John Voight.
Yeah, John Voight.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
I mean, that...
Alpha.
That's
Burt Reynolds, way more alpha than Redford.
Yes.
Like, Redford's not going to be in Deliverance.
No,
No, he's not doing it. He's not doing that. He's
you think
not
the material would have been too dark for him?
He wouldn't have done it. It's too dark.
I do think that, like, the thing that Redford, he benefited from the era. He benefited from being like the only identifiable, like, textbook definition of a wasp. The movies really had to offer in terms of men.
Gatsby?
Right. Nobody.
What actor? Like, maybe John Voight, but I don't even know if John Voight could have done it.
No, and I don't think he doesn't. John Voight looks like he comes from somewhere. Right.
Like he's actually, his background was a little rougher than maybe he's letting on.
Right. Redford looks like he could have come from anywhere in the United States. Really, just
so how many people could have been
state.
Gatsby? Because that's a fun game. Because I think it's only 3 in the last 50 plus years.
Well, one of the people I would offer played Gatsby.
Yeah. So there's 2.
Leonardo DiCaprio played Gatsby.
And
there's
one more, version. I think.
Is it the obvious person?
I think it's Pitt.
Yeah, that's the obvious person. Yes. Okay. Those are your three options.
And then if we move toward like, could Clooney have been Great Gatsby? I'm not buying it.
No, because you kind of, the thing about Gatsby and the genius of the book is you find out where Gatsby is from. So he has to be persuasively from San Francisco, but also from some other place that you would never know unless, Nick Carraway was your friend whispering in your ear. So I think the thing that you benefit from is just a kind of ambiguity because, it's funny, he's not an everyman, but he is like someone that people would look up to and aspire. I mean, you said it yourself, you'd follow him into battle, right?
Yeah.
He does have these leadership qualities that are really interesting.
I would also trust him with my wife or girlfriend in a movie.
Interesting.
Whereas Warren Beatty, I'm not. You're not getting alone
Jack
for
Nicholson,
3 minutes.
Yes,
Nicholson, no way.
Don't leave Jack Nicholson
there's
alone.
certain ones. Whereas Redford had there was always that honorable sense to him. Do you think part of the problem in the 80s and 90s is that he started directing? And we didn't even talk about that. He's a really good director.
Yes.
If you just give any director, Ordinary People, River Runs Through It, and Quiz Show, and you're like, these are the 3 best movies director X made. You'd be like, it's a pretty good director.
It's a pretty good director. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And, it's worth saying that the kind of movies that he both directed and starred in were not movies, it's just like a class of movie that no longer exists.
Do you think he should have played the dad in Ordinary People instead of Donald Sutherland?
Great question. I don't think he would have, I don't know. It's because he wound up directing himself, and I don't think maybe he should have, but he wound, eventually he starts, I think maybe the Horse Whisperer is the first one that he stars in, that he directs.
Well, as you know, I don't know how anybody directs a movie and also acts in it. I think that's fucking crazy. It's like an NBA player coaching a playoff game and being the best player on the team. Bill Russell did that in 1969, but doing it now and having really to handle the timeouts and then going, it's just, I don't know how anyone would do that.
I was really struck by a particular aspect of his death, which is, I read the newspaper every day, read the New York Times in print. I look at other newspapers digitally, but the one that I feel with my 2 hands every day is the New York Times. I live in New York City. And I was surprised to see, not surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. It felt right. His obituary was on the front page and above the fold. It begins above the fold.
Wow.
And I don't know if you remember this, but you remember because we've come back to it over the years, but this game started, what I don't know if you remember is when we started doing it. Who gets a front page death and where does it go? I'm going to reduce this game to above the fold. And it started the day that Prince died. And we're like, that's an above the fold death.
Yeah.
But I'm curious now, who among us, what is it? Well, first of all, what would it be about Redford that would make him one of these, extra deaths?
So Redford, Newman, Nicholson, I think those 3 have endured. I don't think Reynolds did in the same way, even though in the 70s it felt like he was neck and neck with those guys for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Eastwood, no question. No question.
Yes.
Warren Beatty, I think yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I do.
Interesting.
He's right on the fringe, though. It's a good argument. If he was below the fold, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think if it's a slower news day, you're putting him over.
If it's a slow news day, you're definitely putting him over.
Meryl Streep is just the entire paper. There's just no other stories on the front page.
All right, wait. I've got a little New York Times mug here. I'm just going to pull some names out.
Okay.
Meryl Streep, definitely the whole paper.
Yeah, just that's it. There's no sports, weather, anything.
We'll deal with that when it's time. But I'm curious. I really want to talk about that. But I'm just gonna. Oh, here's one. Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, above the fold.
I'm not putting that out there. I just want it known. My queen is gonna live forever above the fold. Yes.
She was Taylor Swift for 10 years. Everyone's like, this Taylor Swift thing, it's never happened before. It's like, it happened.
And I'm sorry, talk about eras.
Yeah.
The hair had eras. Here we go. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Well, because it would be surprising, too. Because he's younger.
Yeah, but
right now. But yeah, at the end of his career, 100%.
Let's just pretend everybody's like 100 years old.
Okay, great. I'm glad we're going to be around.
We'll be around. So, Tom Cruise.
Come on. These are all easy.
I'm picking out what's it. But, sometimes. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
He is not above the fold caliber yet, but I have faith. I'll buy your above the fold stock.
I'm with you. I mean, I didn't even know, there's a rail that runs at the bottom of the paper. Is he going in the rail box? Right? Like, he's probably come to A12, come to A16 to read about Michael B. Jordan's life.
Yeah, I'm betting on his next 10 years. I think Sinners was important for him.
I do
too. I really
too,
thought he was great in it.
The question is, what happens now?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, right now he doesn't have it.
Right. I mean, he needs, but this is the thing, because Bill, I feel a little nuts for offering this, but he's got real Redford energy to me. But what he doesn't have is a Butch and Sundance. He doesn't have a Sting.
They don't make those movies anymore, though. Like, he tried a couple times, a couple different versions of it. He needs, I think there's a great sports movie he could have made that he hasn't made yet. He tried to do the legal movie. It didn't happen. I'm saying beyond Creed, like some sort of he's a basketball player at the end of his career, one of those kind of movies, or he's, football quarterback, somebody near the end of their career.
You're identifying a really important aspect of Redford. You've said it, but now I want to sort of like put a frame around it, which is like the end of the career part. Like, so many of these roles that Redford had, he was definitely too old for them.
Well, this was a Redford thing where he was a little too old for the part, which is something that did not stop him multiple times, including most famously in The Natural, when the first 15 minutes of the movie, he's supposed to be 18 years old, but he's like 47 in real life. He didn't care. He's like, I'm handsome, I'll get away with it.
Definitely too old. But something about, like, a real star definition is, do we care that this person is too old?
I mean, I care with Cruise. I thought he was too old for the last Mission Impossible. I thought it took me out of the movie. I just thought I thought he looked too old and was trying too hard to make it seem like he wasn't in his mid-60s.
So, I mean, what is a good solve for this? To just like
make movies where you're playing a guy in your mid-60s. How about that idea?
But wait, there's no world in which 60-year-old Ethan Hunt is just refusing to like let it go and give it up?
Cruise is like 64.
Or 63. I think he's 63. But I'm saying there's no world in which that
You're not jumping off helicopters and doing that shit anymore. You're just not.
But I think the whole point is that he thinks he can.
Fine. I'm not in. No thanks. Thanks for the run.
Pedro Pascal.
No way. Come on.
I mean, I'm picking out what's in the cup. But I mean, it's interesting because I think part of the Pedro Pascal question is, again, it's Michael B. Jordan related, which is like, what are the parts? Like, what are the roles that this guy is going to get that are going to make you, that are going to define the culture, change the way we think of an art form? And I don't know, you need real great parts for that.
It's too old. It would have happened already.
All right. Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I think the last two big movies he had pushed him over.
He's above the fold or below the fold?
I do. Plus the Brangelina relationship, I think he's above the fold.
Oh, he's the public life. The public life.
Yeah, he's so famous.
A tabloid figure, yes. And is really, defines modern fame in some, I mean, that's fair.
Also, every few years, he's had a monster movie. Like, monster. Going back to the 90s.
Which is not true for Redford. I mean,
not true for Redford. No, but we left out one thing. It's slightly mean to talk about. But Redford, as he aged, because he was in the sun so much, he just didn't have the same looks after a while.
No, that's true.
From a look standpoint, he probably peaked mid-80s. Or not peaked, but that was kind of the last run. And then
mid-90s. I'd say mid-90s.
But I think when he got older, he really did look old.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt's in his 60s in F1, and you have no fucking idea how old he is. He looks like he could be like 40.
But I think that there's something to the honesty of Redford letting time tell its story.
but he seemed the exact age he was. So if you put Redford in his early mid-60s in F1, I just don't think people are buying it because they've been like, there's no way this guy's a race car driver. He's in his 60s.
That's a great point. But then he's not doing F1. He's doing All Is Lost, where he's much older than 60s. But like that is a great use of letting time tell your story on your face for you.
Yes.
And it really works for him in that movie. Okay, this is going to be deep, Bill. Ready?
Yeah.
Julia Roberts.
Oh, definitely Over the Fold.
Over the Fold. Speak.
America's Sweetheart.
All right. Also a mold, right? Like a mold that got broken, but nobody told these executives that it broke.
They tried to duplicate her for 20 years.
They're still trying. It's crazy.
They duplicated her with people that I like. Like, I love Amanda Peet, but she was never able to get to Julia Roberts.
She's not
level.
Julia Roberts. It's just not. Yeah. Why are we trying? I love Amanda Peet too. Shirley MacLaine.
I think that's below. I think she's lost some of her juice just as everyone's gotten older. It's interesting you didn't have Chalamet.
I mean, he might be in here. All right, we'll get to Chalamet. I know he's in here.
Oh, Denzel's the whole paper.
Denzel Washington.
Him and Meryl Streep are the paper.
Oh, ha! Perfect Bill. Perfect Bill.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy. Oh, you're thinking. You are thinking.
He is for me. I do wonder if you're under 30, do you care as much?
Great question. Yes, you do. I mean, this is one of those occasions where the obituary makes you care, right? This is one of those things where the minute he dies, the memories change. It's a really
know what he is, because the especially like as a black actor and comedian during a time when we didn't have any black actors or comedians in a mainstream anything. He has to be
for 10 years.
Yeah,
I mean, it went Sidney Poitier, this kind of like lull in the 1970s, Eddie Murphy, right? Eddie Murphy changes everything for better and for worse for black actors in Hollywood in terms of both what they could do, proving that people would pay money to see us do anything over and over and over again. And also didn't change who he was in order to make that money. He was always fully him. He was a classic movie star. He was going to be him and, a bunch of other people that he would, impersonate in these movies over and over again.
That should be my next Cannonball appearance is just Eddie Murphy in the 80s, just us breaking it down.
Oh my God, don't make me cry.
So many good YouTube clips from that era. Even like him going on Johnny Carson.
Yes.
Some of the weird societal shit that's in some of those interviews where he's like, what are you going to do with all your money? You're making so much money. Like the inference being like, you're definitely going to blow this. Let me help you.
Yeah. And his answers to those questions are amazing.
Well, he took it personally. He's like,
yeah,
I have money. Like, what do you think I'm going to do? Like buy a pile of cocaine and then drive my Lamborghini over it? Like, I'll be fine.
I think I love this. Spending an hour just like looking at Eddie Murphy on talk shows love it. Put a pin in that, Bill. All right.
Thank you.
One more, because I thought he was in here, but he's not. Timothy Chalamet, let's just do him anyway. What happens to 100-year-old Timothy Chalamet?
Well, I think this is a projection on what his career is going to be, but I really like the bones of what he's putting together and the choices that he's making, and I think he's learned the lessons from some of these great people from the past. I think his heart's in the right place, and I think he gets it. So I would assume he's headed that way.
I hope so. I hope he, I would love to see him get on All the President's Men or 3 Days of the Condor too, but or a Sting. I mean, he'd be great in something like a Sting.
He needs a 3 Days of the Condor, I'm just in trouble for an hour and a half kind of movie. Like nothing, no great expectations, but I mean, right now, like with everything that's going on in the world, like the time is ripe for people to start making movies about this stuff.
But I think that like what you and I are talking about right now is a kind of proof of, I mean, it's kind of getting to this question of like whether we even have movie stars anymore, right?
I mean, when did I write that piece for Grantland? That was like 2011.
Yeah, or like 2012. But yeah, I know the one. It's the one where you basically complain that people have got the wrong idea about who a movie star is right now.
It was, and one of the people I said it on was Ryan Reynolds, and how Hollywood was trying to make Ryan Reynolds a thing, and none of the movies were working. And it's like, I don't know if he's a thing or not, but you're positioning him like he is, and it hasn't happened yet. And then eventually it kind of happened. There's a couple people now that I think have a puncher's chance. Like Austin Butler's got something.
Okay. I did see Caught Stealing and think, yeah, this is it.
I think he has something. Chalamet obviously has whatever. I think MBJ has it. He clearly has it. He's a little
these
older.
People, they need at bats, right?
Right. But we don't make movies like that anymore. People aren't they're not cranking out 2-3 a year anymore.
And, the thing we have not talked about with Redford that's important to say here is that, a lot of what his legacy, one of the things that enshrines him above the fold is the Sundance piece of it, right?
Yeah.
He, through the Sundance Film Festival, is the figurehead and visionary of an entire way of thinking about American movie making that gives many, we don't have a Michael B. Jordan in the way that we know him without Robert Redford, as it turns out, because of the Sundance Film Festival, right?
Right.
Ryan Coogler's Fruitvale Station premieres there. I just think that, with his death is happening at a moment in which the thing he shepherded into existence, that is also kind of teetering in some way.
Oh, I'm going the other way. It's coming back.
Oh, speak to me.
Movies are back.
Okay,
movies are good.
I'm not saying that. Okay,
I'm pleased with movies.
Are you pulling my leg right now?
I am. I think this is a good movie year.
This is a good movie year, but this is like saying, oh, well, the planet's getting warmer, but 2025, it was just below the hottest year on record.
Movies are back.
All right, but what do you mean when you say that, though? I mean, because we're definitely getting fewer movies.
Movies like Weapons and Sinners, to me, is like, we're still doing Conjuring and shit like that. People are going to go see those, and it is what it is. But the fact that we could have Weapons and Sinners and this Paul Thomas Anderson movie coming out, and I don't know.
I would just say, I mean, if the movies are back and they're in good shape, I would say movie stardom is not, and it needs some help. And one of the things it needs is more great to mediocre screenwriting to give these people something to do, right?
Yeah.
We'll pay to see it. You just have to give it to us. And you have to retrain us to want to see a person like Robert Redford work, 3 times a year, 2 times a year. If you build it, they will come. Right? I mean,
yeah, but that's
one hopes.
You're talking about incentivizing the people who create that IP, and TV is a great incentivizer right now, right?
More than the movies you're saying.
Yeah, if you're Taylor Sheridan, he made, what was that, Wind River?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix, right?
Jane, get away from the door!
He did that. He started making TV shows. Guess what? Way more money in the TV shows. And he's going to use his voice, his vision. He's going to steer it toward trying to create all these different TV things. Brad Ingleby's another one. Does Mayor of Easttown and Taft over actually making a movie.
The Easttown Police Department received a call reporting a dead body in Creedham Creek.
I would invite these people to come back to the movie theater.
Come back. Just make a quick one.
But the thing is, I will just end here. The thing about the movie star problem is, they don't get to say who the movie stars are. We do. And I don't think if you're not making movies and taking risks on people being in them and seeing what happens when we get to vote with our money and our time, then we'll never have the stars.
Well, it's like the William Goldman quote, nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He has that whole chapter about how Richard Gere got Pretty Woman because he was the 13th choice. That thing, one of the pieces he writes, and he lists all the terrible movies Richard Gere made for 8 years. When Richard Gere was if we were talking about 1980 Richard Gere now, we'd be like, well, Richard Gere, there's one of our 5 stars. And then it just dies for him, literally for 8 years. And then all of a sudden he gets Pretty Woman. It's like, Richard Gere's a star. Well, he was always a star. He was in the right movie.
So you think, just to send us home, you think that movie stardom is in what kind of place right now? Like it's in good shape?
No.
Okay.
I think movies are in good shape. I don't think movie stardom is. But this is, I mean, as you know, I love to compare the NBA to everything. This is always the issue with the NBA. Like, they have LeBron and Curry and Durant headed toward retirement, pretty close. And who is the next wave of guys that are going to come in? Who are the American stars that are coming? We don't have them. And you start holding your Anthony Edwards is basically the Chalamet.
That's the, yes.
It's like, man, we need Anthony Edwards. And then, you know, like Devin Booker becomes Austin Butler, and you just start like trying to talk yourself into different people. But stars are stars. You know it when you see it. It's like seeing a beautiful woman. It's like seeing a great house. It's like anything. You just kind of know. And for whatever reason, we had a ton of them in the 70s and the 80s, and now we don't have as many.
I don't think the movies can be in great shape without great stars. I really don't.
I have faith. I'm a man of faith. I'm a man of faith with NBA stars and quarterbacks and movie stars that we're always going to be able to keep coming up with them. I guess the difference these days is, are the people going to put in the kind of work you need to actually become a movie star?
Just thinking about what it is meant to even have these stars is meaningful to me. And also thinking about what it means to not have them, especially when you just go back, as many people are probably going to be doing over the next, few months, and just like watching these Redford movies. I mean, thanks to Robert Redford.
Brought a lot of joy.
Brought a lot of joy, a lot of face fanning, a lot of like, whoa, thank the Lord. Wow, how did he do that? I don't even know. My mother, honest to God, she's not here anymore, but when she was here, that was her homie. She loved herself some Robert Redford, and now, I mean, I'm assuming that the two of them are up there, like, just partying together.
Just hanging out.
Bill Simmons, thank you for doing this.
The pleasure was all mine.
Back at you.